Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we're discussing something that was launched in 2019 in part to make up for the fact that collectors never fully warmed up to the 41mm Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph. This is, of course, the 38mm Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph. It came out in 2019, a year that was dominated by the Code 1159s, and a lot of folks forgot about this model, but it might be the best sized and best proportioned Royal Oak chronograph. In red gold, you can see it's 38mm in diameter, 11mm thick from lug tip to lug tip. It is 48mm, and if it's measured plot to plot or end link to end link, it's going to be 50.5mm. I should call this, properly speaking, rose gold, because Audemars Piguet doesn't bill it as red, but rose gold in this case, especially compared to the saturated metallic blue dial, it does look very, very dark, deep, and saturated. A beautiful look. I feel like it's red gold, and it feels like money. 208 grams, as Sammy the Scale tells the tale, and you can see on my 16cm circumference wrist, this really is the perfect size Royal Oak chronograph for me. So you have a smaller wrist if you're a guy with a taste for the original 39 that launched back in 1996, the original Royal Oak chronograph. You're a lady who likes to wear conventional mechanical watches, often sizing up to a man's watch. You'll find this is a perfect fit to smaller wrists everywhere, male and female. And it'll fit beneath the cuff. You can see low, sloped, flat, easy to wear, only 11mm thick down the barrel, plenty of clearance. And just to verify what I was saying a moment ago about the mass of the Brick Junior, there you go right there. That's a massive machine. Not a big machine, but a massive machine. Taking a look at the decoration, this is what you pay for with a Royal Oak. Ever since the first one in 1972, designed by Gerald Genta, a Royal Oak has seemed somewhat naked without a full integrated bracelet. This is how Genta envisioned it, a bracelet that just happened to have a timepiece attached. So the timepiece in this case is a very good one, but let's talk about the bracelet. Now you can see it's fixed to the case using screws and bars, a very secure method, no spring bars there. Removable links, you can see that they are fixed in place using screws, which is the right way to do this. Upscale, as you can see. Taking a look at the opposite side, we have a few more removable links. Taking a look at the clasp itself, it's a double fold with twin trigger release. You must press both to open it up. It cannot pop open inadvertently. A sequential close with the logo closing second. You can see there's a little bit of burnishing on the underside of the clasp. This is a pre-owned watch after all. But the finishing is in outstanding condition. Take a look at the white gold hexagonal bolts in the bezel. See how deeply recessed those are below the plane of the bezel? That indicates outstandingly fresh condition and little, if any, refinishing. Now right here, you can see we got a little piece of dust. That's not a mark on the bezel. The metalwork is incredible. You can see how the inner faces, these intermediate links, are actually polished inside the bracelet. You wouldn't even see them if you didn't roll it through the light like this. Then we have longitudinal satination on the tops, vertical satination on the flanks. The expanding bevels of the lug hoods run perfectly aligned across the shoulders of the links. You can see how we have these character lines of the bezel that run all the way through the case back. The gasket is expressed as a hairline black element below the bezel. That's intentional. Hexagonal crown shoulders. We do have a screw down crown here. We do have a 50-meter water resistance, so this is surface swimmable. Don't dye it, but you can swim with this watch. What appear to be screw downs for the crowns are actually just shoulders, also hexagonal. You can start, stop, and operate the chronograph without screwing them out. The bezel is iconic, a rounded octagon originally inspired by a vintage diving helmet. On a standard Royal Oak, not an offshore, but a Royal Oak, these screws are always made of gold, usually white gold, and that is the case here. Taking a quick look, you can see how nicely the crown guards are beveled and faceted, and then we have a dial. This is the Grande Tapisserie. It is the large hobnail. So we've got the Mega Tapisserie, that is what you get on the offshore, that's stamped, and the Petite and the Grand are the hobnail cuts that are actually cut on a pantograph. And you can see when you get really close, all of the little surface detail that comes from the pantograph lathe cut. You don't get that on the Mega Tapisserie that is on the offshore. You only get that on the Grand et Petite, and the Petite is what you'll find on a jumbo, and the Grand is what you'll find on almost all the other Royal Oaks. You can also see it's a nice, deep, rich blue, and there's somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 little dots, divots, and marks from the pantograph cut. Solid gold logo, hands, and indices. The watch does have a pleasing amount of luminescence, no shortage there. And then the dial features chronograph seconds, chronograph minutes, chronograph hours, running seconds. We've got a date, and the date does feature a quick set. Roll through the date change danger zone before we do that, though. You can see the watch featuring the Frédéric Piguet 1185 base movement, doing business as AP 2385. This does not have hacking, but it does have a quick set function, and there is your quick set right there. What I appreciate is that the 20 on the sub-register and the 20 on the disc are the same font. Not every brand gets that right. So inside we've got the 1185 doing business as the AP2385. It is a unidirectional automatic winder with a 3 Hz beat rate, a 40-hour power reserve, 37 joules, 5-position adjustment, a quick set system, and it has a vertical clutch and a column wheel for actuation. So the vertical clutch ensures no jump or stagger when you start the chronograph seconds hand. It's a seamless engagement. It also allows you to run the chronograph full time if that's what you prefer. And then the column wheel makes for a very crisp actuation. This is a very thin, fine, handsomely decorated and upscale high horology movement that's been used by everyone from Vacheron to AP, Blancpain, Breguet, and Harry Winston. So it is a movement with true pedigree. And it was also the movement used in the first 2 generations of Vacheron overseas chronograph. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.